Hi, thank you for joining me for this review of this Holybro Kopis 1 brushless FPV racing quadcopter supplied courtesy of Gearbest.com for review. Now this has been voted the best bind and fly racer for 2017. So let's have a look why. It comes in this compact box that was completely sealed in plastic, which was good, and that I've removed already. Very small, very thin, very compact, and a lot of details on the back of the box that we'll go into shortly. Then if we open the box, it comes very nicely packaged in this soft shell casing, so it's not a hard shell. It's got a nice little carry handle, seems to have a good zip on it too. And if we open this up, this is what we get on the inside. So this is strapped in to the case with what you can call a battery strap. And have a look at this. Okay, what is quite striking is the angle of the camera. Now, this is a 5mm full 3K carbon fiber twill frame. You can see it looks quite thick, and it's a stretch X designed, so this is really designed for racing, so it flies at an angle like this basically. So that's why the camera angle is at such an angle, and this camera has a adjustable pitch from 0 to 90 degrees. This is what it looks like from the side. This is what it looks like from the back. And the other side. So let me just get the case out of the way. So this comes packed with very high spec components, and the stretched X shape is really designed to keep the back props away from the dirty wash of the front props for better cornering and high top speed in racing. And the camera on this is a 2.3mm Runcam Swift 600 TVL CCD camera with a 150-degree field of view. And the flight controller is the Kakute F4, one of the latest FC boards available. And this is also mounted with a soft mounted gyro for better vibration absorption and filtering. The VTX is an adjustable 25 milliwatt up to 600 milliwatt, and also has an IMU of up to 32 kilohertz. And on the arms here we have the BL Heli 32 ESCs, which are by default D-Shot 600s, but also compatible with D-Shot 1200 if you upgrade the configuration. And these are 30 amp ESCs positioned below the arms, so it might have been better if it was positioned above the arms for more protection and held on basically just with It's not a type of shrink wrap, but more of a tape, but it is held on very well. These tri-blade props are 5045 BNs and are quite flexible, so it should be quite durable. And the motors are Air 40 KV 2450 motors, and these are T motors, so one of the better brands. So with the components on the craft, most of it is compatible with up to 6S batteries. It's recommended 3 to 4S as it is standard here, but the motors do limit it for 5 and 6 cell batteries. But basically these motors have been used to give a balance of raw speed and flight time without being too demanding on the batteries. But this is going to pack quite a punch. So you can always upgrade the motors in the future if you feel that you want to get increased performance and fly with 5 to 6 cell batteries. Okay, we've got some nice bright LEDs on the back here. I'll plug a battery in shortly to show you. It comes with the integrated buzzer alarm. We've got the antenna positioned at the back here for better protection. And this comes with a MMCX connector as opposed to a more common type for an easy, secure connection. The battery plug is an XT60. And have a look where the antennas have been positioned, which is actually not bad. So it'll be interesting to see how this works. Normally antennas are positioned above for reception, but I'm going to leave these antennas like this and see how well it performs with that. The screws are countersunk for better appearance and a smoother finish here, but not the screws holding the motor mounts. Here's the mini USB ports where we can plug into Betaflight. It has telemetry OSD, and this also has the feature where you can change the PIDs and rates using transmitter sticks. So that is a good feature if you want to change PIDs in the field without having to plug it into a computer. And this is where we plug a controller in to change the OSD settings. Underneath we have the strap to secure a battery. And there's a nice pad here to help hold it securely in position. Now unfortunately my Infinity 1300 mAh graphene racing batteries have not arrived yet, and the recommended battery to use on this are 1300 mAh 4-cell batteries. So I'm just going to be using a 2230C battery for now to set it up and to do a test flight. So this battery is a bit big and bulky, but I'm sure it will manage it quite well with this. And the VTX on this has 40 channels, 5.8 gigahertz. The back LED board here, let me just plug it in and show you. It's also programmable and controllable in Betaflight. And there, as we can see, the default configuration is it moving like that. But one should also be able to change the color and the pattern should you wish to do so. It's also good to have a little warning tag on here. Never power on the quadcopter without making sure the antenna is attached, or else you'll burn out the VTX transmitter quite quickly. So let me just disconnect. So this is all the information on the back of the box. If you'd like to pause and have a closer look. Now let's have a look what else comes in the box. So we also get 4 spare propellers. Always great to have spare propellers. We get a camera mount for a GoPro session or any other sort of compatible camera. This looks like a foam pad to possibly mount the camera on the top and absorb vibration for better stability. But I don't have a GoPro session, I can't see how that works for now. Get this little bag with goodies. This shows us the bands and the frequencies for the Atlatl video transmitter. The user manual for the Runcam Swift Mini. Some spare tubing for the antennas. Four spare cable ties for securing the antennas too. An additional battery strap, which can also be used to secure a camera on top if you wish. A spare non-slip pad for helping secure the battery in position. This is the OSD controller that plugs in to change the OSD menu and settings. And then just a spare ribbon, some spare pads and some spare circlips and washers for the motors. And disappointingly, no hex screwdrivers, no Allen key, no spanner for removing and securing prop nuts. And then on the box it says full setup and configuration guide inside the box, which is not the case. We just get this giving us the other Holybro products and models and the spare parts list. But you can download the manual from the Holybro website, and I'll put a link in the description. This is it. I'm not going to go through it in detail, but it is actually a very good, well detailed and informative manual which gives you everything you require, from installing Betaflight if you don't have Betaflight on a computer already, upgrading Betaflight to 3.2 if you want to upgrade the D-Shot to 1200, how to install the receiver if need be, how to bind. And the important thing to remember is that the receiver only supports S-Bus, I-Bus and Spectrum, and does not support legacy PPM and PWM receivers. So it gives you how to bind a FR Sky, a Spectrum, reversing channels on a FlySky radio and also on a Spectrum radio and on the Tyrannus, and setting up on the FlySky, Tyrannus and Spectrum radios, how to configure and set up in Betaflight, customize the OSD, install props using the OSD, saving configuration, pre-flight checks, best practices for FPV, quadcopter safety and safe handling. Very importantly, fail-safe. Don't ever fly without verifying that fail-safe works correctly. And adjusting pitch rates and VTX on a Tyrannus. So a very good informative instruction manual. So the only issues I can really foresee with this, possibly at this stage, are if the ESCs are going to be adequately protected. Will the camera be adequately protected? And what will the 5.8 gigahertz transmission be like? The range on this VTX should be about 200 meters. And possibly more depending what setting it's on. But having the antenna in this position may be obstructed by the craft or the battery. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the props. So very importantly, before setting up and testing, remove the props, and I'm going to bind it to my Tyrannus QX7 radio control transmitter here and set up and configure it in Betaflight. Then mine has the FrSky XSR receiver, and to bind there's a small little button just over here that you need to press down and hold down when binding with your radio control transmitter. Okay, so here are my settings and setup in Betaflight. These are the ports. Configuration. I put, motor stop on for horizon mode. Down here, it'll let me. These settings here. Here are the other feature settings. There's the pit tuning. Left it at default. Receiver. So these are all the receiver settings. Modes, so I've included arm, disarm, acro mode, horizon mode, and beeper. Motors, fairly straightforward. OSD, these are the default settings for OSD, so I haven't changed any settings for the OSD. This is where you can change the color and layout for the LED. I've left that at default for now too. Black box section, so this does have a black box backup. And then CLI, I'll just show you. This is the CLI settings. So this is Betaflight for the Kakute F4. I'm running version 3.2, last updated July the 13th. So I think there is a more recent version to update, so I might update that too. I'll just go through this should anybody need it for any reference in future. But it's always good to back this up when you get the craft, in case you do need it to reset in future. So always back up. Okay, so all set up now and ready to go. Looking forward to doing test flights. So I hope you found this interesting so far.